We're here in Barrie at Peter's house and studio, and we're going to see his pottery from Blind Alley Arts. Thanks for having us, Peter.
Thank you guys for coming. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
First of all, Blind Alley Arts. How did you come up with that?
Well, after much consideration, I decided that I needed something that was appropriate. So a blind alley, if you look up in the dictionary, it means it could mean a dead end, or it could mean an occupation with no chance of having any prospects of success. And at the very beginning, when I started off, it was very much a big challenge to try and open your own studio, and it felt very stressful, and so that is where we began. So it took it, but now hopefully I'm making the name more ironic than anything else. So,
oh, for sure,
yeah.
for sure. It sticks with you for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, Blind Alley Arts.
So when did you start making pottery? How did it all start?
I started my first initial foray at the Ontario College of Art and Design down in Toronto. So I needed to take one more class, and it was, they said, you can take a pottery class, and I wasn't that enthusiastic, but I decided that I might as well try.
Neat.
Yeah, so it really wasn't anything that I anticipated to be enjoying, but after about, I would say, 3 or 4 classes, I was completely hooked. And yeah, so it didn't take very long. It probably took me about 5 years before I really started. Where I moved up to Barrie and got all the things you need, a kiln, a wheel, all the things, and opened up my little gallery and started things going. And so I've always considered myself, I'm a part-time potter and full-time dad. So that's really my occupation, to be honest.
So it's a great leap of faith, and luckily you took that class. Look what happens, how it just turned out that way.
New doors.
New doors, for sure. So what are some of your biggest challenges at the beginning, some of the challenges at this
The beginning, it's probably the fact that you have a blank canvas. And you're welcome to do anything you want. And trying to find your own style and find something that you like, that you think might have a chance of selling, and just kind of starting off. It really was a very big challenge. It really probably took about 6 months to a year before I felt competent in any way as to my own personal style of pottery. And then once you kind of get that initial start, then it can start to evolve in different directions. And so always feel like I can always improve on my designs, on the shapes. It's always a challenge, and I think that's what I really like about pottery. Fortunately, my grandmother was the one that encouraged me to go to Ontario College of Art. And it was when I had a talk with her one day, and she said, Peter, what do because I had been to the University of Guelph, and, I kind of had done that, but she said, this seems more like your kind of thing, so.
So you have some beautiful pieces here all around. Now, I love these on the wall. This is wall vases.
Actually, this was kind of the original technique that I started off with. When I was mentioning, what to do with your blank palette and blank slate of what to do. And the idea behind it was that everyone in the world is kind of connected through pottery, which sounds weird, but it's true. Just bear with me. In that everyone, you need a cup to drink from. You need a bowl to serve yourself from. And so everyone, no matter how rich, how poor, where you may live, and it was kind of, when I was in Africa, I was visiting the Maasai warriors, and they had these little mud huts where they lived. And you walk into these huts and they had nothing, but they had a cup, and they had a pot, and they had a bowl. So it really kind of brought that home for me, that idea.
Right. Are there any pieces that are your favorite to make?
Favorite to make right now at this time? Yes, most definitely. So this one has some clay on it. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. So these are. These are just kind of some handcrafted bowls, but what I really like about them is this kind of crackle surface, and it's actually the glaze. No, I'm sorry, it's actually the clay that breaks on it. So this happens when it's spinning on the wheel, and so it's kind of a very unique technique that I haven't seen used that much. I've been doing it probably for about a year now, and I'm still learning about how to do it and how to use it properly and effectively. But it always has to be a somewhat bulbous shape. because what you do is you're basically going to dry the outside a little bit and then expand it. And so as you expand it, because the clay is dry, it has to crack. And then it's filled in afterwards with these different slips to kind of find the various fine lines. So I really like these bowls. And
You didn't discover that accidentally, did you?
no, I did not.
It's cracking.
Yeah, that's right. Ah, this is terrible.
Now, is this your studio then? It's open?
Yeah, so this is just, so this is in my house, but it's just a small little gallery that people can come by anytime and kind of see what they like. And then I have my working studio downstairs.
Do you mind if we take a little tour?
For sure, let's come on down, that's great.
So this is where the magic happens. This is your
Supposedly,
place.
yeah, it's not huge, but
It's a good size.
it's acceptable. We have, so over here is where we kind of are making more of the object. Our little wheel, and that's kind of where it gets muddiest, we'll say. And then on the other side is more for glazing, so after things come out of the kiln and they're bisqued, and then we will glaze them, which puts a different kind of colors and sheen on it. And it takes probably about 3 to 4 weeks from kind of start to finish.
Yeah.
So it's the one thing that can be a little aggravating about pottery is that it takes so long to get
Yeah,
from
so many steps.
position A to your final product.
Oh yeah.
But you know, it's taught me patience and some occasional frustration. But that's all I do.
Yeah, that's all part of the artistic world, isn't it?
For sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Well,
you make it work. It looks
Oh, it
like
makes it work, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Now, is your wife into?
No,
so
she does not care for this. No, she is very, very, very supportive of what I do
Oh,
and
that's good.
encouraging.
Good.
But does she participate? Not particularly.
Yeah, good.
But as I always say, she is the one with the real job. And that allows,
Pays you-
and
pays, yeah.
That's
Pays
right.
for-
Now I get to do all the cooking and cleaning and fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yes, she is very, very encouraging.
That's
so
that's
great.
living the dream.
Yeah.
It
yeah,
it
doing what
really
you
is.
love.
Yeah.
I look after my boy, who is now 14 years old, and I try and look after my wife, and then I get to play pottery on the side. So it's fantastic.
That is.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Well, thanks for having us in your home and your studio today and giving us a little demonstration. It's been really fun.
Well, it's been my pleasure. It's been great to have you in, and I very much appreciate it. It's wonderful.
So if you're ever in Barrie, come on down to Peel Street and visit Peter and his Blind Alley studio. Hi, welcome to the local gift shop Roadshow. I'm Jocelyn Esperance,
And I'm Marla Moore.
and we're here downtown Perkinsfield with Marge Thibault in her gallery. Thanks for having us, Marge.
Thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure to be here, and you would never know that this gallery is down here, so tell us a little bit about how it all started.
About 5 years ago, I was off work because of a medical condition, and I was limited to being in the house and restricted to not walking a whole lot. And winter was long,
Yeah.
so I decided to rekindle an old passion and went out and bought a brand new camera. So that allowed me to go and take pictures I could go down to the beach here, just a couple miles down the road, and take a few pictures, come home and play around with them on the computer. It gave me something to do during the day, forced me out to get a little bit of fresh air, and that's how it all started.
So it started out just for your own, for yourself,
mental
and mental
More
health,
for
and
mental health than anything.
then some people started kind of being drawn to it and wanting some of it.
Yeah.
So
it
then,
started out very small for myself.
And then it just grows, and word of mouth, and it spreads, and well, it's absolutely beautiful, and there's a lot of nature. I see a lot of nature in your pictures. And
Most of them are water related. In one way, shape, or form, there's water in them.
somewhere.
There's not too many people. People are
some
hard
animals.
to- yeah, but they don't show you attitude.
Yeah. They don't say, do this again.
Yeah.
Very good. What were some of your challenges when you first started?
Well, I think because I just started off small, it was all right. you
Right,
know?
right.
And then somebody mentioned the camera club, the Midland Camera Club, so I joined the Midland Camera Club and got to know a few other people and got to know how to use my camera a little bit more. And
Oh, so you never did photography before? Nothing?
so I did do photography way back, but not like this. We would travel every month on our tent trailer, and we left for a month every year, and we traveled Canada. So I have shots of all over Canada. And we had a wall in the living room that was called Our Canada. So it was just little bits and pieces of things we had done. And I always gave myself the challenge of enlarging one picture out of a roll of film.
Oh, good plan. Good plan.
And then my camera got stolen and life got very busy. I started taking correspondence courses and I was working full time.
Sure. The career.
Yeah.
Sometimes the career takes over the passion, and you have to.
Yeah. So and my camera got stolen. So then I bought a beautiful little point and shoot. It was nice and handy and didn't do much with it. And then when I had my medical conditions, it was like, okay, this is something that's to go back to and.
And when did that happen? When was the crossover from where you were, it was just a hobby, to obviously it's not just a hobby anymore, looking around and
This is art.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly when that was, but probably almost a year into it, kind of thing. Because I bought my camera from Boxing Day by sale online, and I did First Light the following year. So it was about a year, and it was through winning competitions, just a ribbon, but through competitions with the Midland Camera Club and that. You get to see what's good and what's bad, and I look at my pictures from back then and say, whew, kind of thing. But I was very proud of them back then, and was happy to showcase them. And the sales boost, like, it gives you that little bit of...
Yeah, people are buying, they like it.
And then decided to start up a full business, so it's a business. And then this gallery happened, I think, the following year, so it was just reinvest everything that I was making.
So have you been commissioned to do anything for like the municipalities or?
Kind of. I've had some people commission me, they wanted either, it was a Georgian Bay, so they wanted certain things like Red Rock or the Slide or Go Home Narrows kind of thing. So one thing leads to another, that leads to another kind of thing. And
so a long ways in a short time from that one walk down to the beach with your camera to a beautiful studio. Well, very good, very good.
And so your husband created this space for you?
It used to be a family room, and it wasn't being used very much. And the little room upstairs was just not, presentable if somebody wanted to come and see something.
Oh, this is perfect.
So we took a space that was unused or underused and created it into this. And,
I just love it. I could hang out here all day. It's so inspiring just to sit here.
And it makes a nice room to, often people will say they want a photo of something, but like say Georgian Bay, well then I can bring my monitor and laptop and everything down here. We can go through pictures, and you're not in the house, kind of thing.
Separate space.
You're doing the business.
Yeah,
you need the space for the business. Oh, for sure.
So now that you have an established business, what keeps you, moving forward and inspired and keeps it fresh for you?
Probably the learning and being creative, upping the ante just a little bit more. Okay, so I did this, so now what can I do next? And what can I do next? And how do I improve the photography part of it, as well as the business part of it.
So out of the whole process, is there, which one is your favorite? Like the shooting, the spending time on the computer, editing?
I think I like the whole process.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's nice to go out and take some shots and everything else, and you know, you go out snowshoeing or whatever, and you see these leaves, and it's like, oh, okay. So go over and take some pictures of that, take a dozen, 100, whatever, and then you come home and you look at them and you say, okay, well, what can I do with that? How can I better that? How can I make it a little bit different, that it's not the classic cell phone picture?
So do you see yourself full-time doing this and retiring from your current job?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that'd be nice.
the stepping stone. My husband's retired and has been for 3 years, and I went back when he retired.
That happens a lot, yes.
Benefits of a job. Yeah, so eventually, but for now, need a balance.
Need a balance. Just really appreciate you sharing all of this with us, and yeah.
Thanks so much, Marge, for having us today, and it's been lovely seeing your gallery and your beautiful work. So next time you're in Perkinsfield, make sure you stop by and visit Marge and see her beautiful gallery. Hi, we're here at Olivia's store, Harold and Fern, the local goods co. And we're here in her new shop, downtown Orillia, and we're here to see what she's been up to.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for opening it up early for us.
Thanks for coming.
Love your new store. It's fabulous. And how was the opening for you?
It was really good. It was a great morning, and then we had freezing rain in the afternoon, so
But it worked.
we had a great, our core group managed to come down and say hi and check out the new dig, so it was a fun day.
Yeah, because you were in the alleyway just up the street, but are you finding the traffic is better here?
Yeah, it's still a slower time of year, but it definitely is going to be a good location come summer or springtime. So I do have just the core group of customers that have transitioned with me, but it's definitely easier to stumble upon than down the alleyway.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. But it's even cuter.
Yeah.
It's cute before
And
it's
bigger,
even
right?
cute,
Yeah. So it's a little bit bigger, easier to find. It just, the aesthetic suits the goods really well. It really ties them in. So showcases them well, which I'm really excited about.
Oh, good for you.
So what inspired you to start your own business?
I hadn't always had an entrepreneurial itch. I thought that people who did it were crazy. But I guess it was almost 7 years ago now. I spent a summer in Argentina, and I was living with a couple of artisans, and I had never really been around so much art and culture, and they taught me how to weave, and I just was like so immersed in an artistic community. And I came back and I was like, wow, like I didn't really know that was a lifestyle, that was a thing. And so that kind of piqued my interest, and then I finished my undergrad and went and did my master's in politics, of all things. And then decided to move back here to my hometown in Orillia, and you know, was looking at different jobs, but I really wanted to live in the community I was in. I love to support local. I love to be a part of a local community. So, and it's been really good. So the store's been open for just over a year now, and
And it's working.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Do you have any advice for somebody that's wanting to start their own business? Or
I say to people all the time, just do it in whatever capacity you can. I mean, like I started out down an alleyway that had under 400 square feet and just kind of made it work with what I had. And I think that you just kind of have to start wherever you feel comfortable. So, for instance, a lot of the artists in here, they have full-time jobs still, or they're like stay-at-home parents, and they just do what they can, in their free time, which I think is great. I think it's a real shame when people say, oh, I really wanted to do this, or I would love to do this, but, and I'm like, if you're saying a but, then you're not that passionate about it.
Right. There's so much, you know, follow your dreams, messages out there, follow your dreams, don't let the naysayers bring you down. So what was some of your challenges when you first opened? Like personal challenges, like your own, like, can I do this, or other people not supporting you or saying, what are you doing, you know?
It can be really hard to stay positive. The first day I opened, I bawled my eyes out and wouldn't come out. So I wouldn't open the door. In the old place, there used to be like a fire door and then a screen door. So when the store was open, I'd open the fire door and people could come in through and see the glass door. And I wouldn't open the fire door. And
Open, but not really.
Yeah, I was like, if you chance it, you might find something. And you might also see me crying because the cash register isn't working properly. So that was the first day, and that hasn't been the last time. It's pretty tough, especially just being complete solo entrepreneur, like no partner or anything. So yes, it's hard, and people say it's hard, and you're kind of like, yeah, I'm sure it's difficult, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth all the.
So when you say local, you mean in the Simcoe County area? Or
yeah, it's a pretty tight radius. So right now I have about 60 different artists and artisans, what I like to call makers. And I like to keep them about half an hour away. So we have some people in Barrie, just south of Barrie, Gravenhurst, but mostly Aurelia, Oro Medonte, like Coldwater, Severn Township, just like really, really close to home.
That's great. I've been eyeing this cutting board here, which is shaped like a whale. That's new.
This is beautiful. The spoons are by him too. So Dave is actually one of the stay-at-home parents. So he's a stay-at-home dad, and he used to be a cabinet maker, and now stays at home with his two like adorable children, and just makes really fun items whenever he has a chance. So again, like when he brings stuff down, he walks them from home, and like his two kids come with, and they play around in the store, and yeah, it's awesome. So he's created like such a cool community.
Congratulations on for your Business Achievement Award.
Thanks. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
That's really quite an honor. I was lucky enough to be part of the group that won an Entrepreneurial Initiative Award, which recognizes new businesses that are doing things a bit differently and really putting themselves out there. So yeah.
Oh, well, we just love it. If we could give an award away, we would too, right? It's just, well, we would, because this is what we are about, right? Supporting the local, and you're doing it, and it's working. Yeah. So you're helping all these vendors, like beautiful pottery, and oh, that is just gorgeous. I've already spied about 3 or 4 things that I'm going to pick up. Yeah.
I can wrap those up for you, yeah.
Tuck them away in the back.
Yeah.
Pick them up. But just beautiful. So thank you so much for opening up your shop early for us. This has been great, and I love the products, and especially thank you for supporting the creative community. And next time you're in Aurelia, come down and check out Olivia's store. I promise you won't leave empty-handed. I promise. I promise you won't leave empty-handed.
Hi, we're here in Barrie at Peter's house and studio. He has
Hi, we're at Olivia's Harold and Fern, the
local goose. Alright, downtown Aurelia called.
You're gonna say I'm Jocelyn, the response that I got, and I'm Marla Moore, and
Oh, yeah.
then it goes back to
Okay.
on means
Blind Alley Blind Alley Arts. I'm Justin Esperance, and this is.
and I'm
Oh,
at the Blind Alley Art Studio with Peter.
okay. Hi.
Hi.
Oh.
Go first.
No, you go.